Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a while since we last chatted on this project, and I've been doing a lot of, let's say, soul searching, some thinking. I've gone through about 5 or 6 prototypes of this project, and I've taken a step back and really thought about how can I make this project not only a success for me, but make it easier for everyone else as well. Now, you guys know I've been trying to make a converter box that would take the digital signal from the 2016 and greater Camaro and convert that back into an analog signal the 2012 can understand. To be honest, I'm pretty confident that prototype number 5 or 6 or whatever I'm on would actually work. But what I think I'm going to do is make things a little bit easier because there's a couple hiccups with that. One, it's sort of a big pain to actually make. To be honest with you, it's a large board. You guys have seen the different prototypes a couple times. They're probably about this large. There's got to be somewhere we tuck it away underneath the dashboard. And it continues to kind of go through the activity of converting the signal. There is going to be some hiccups and some software stuff to do. And not only that, underneath the steering column shroud, right, the part that goes, let's say this is your steering wheel, the part that's over here, the plastic part, the plug in the back there is actually strapped to the harness. And I don't know how easy it would be to undo that harness and like kind of separate it away. And that has to plug directly into the box, and the box is not going to fit under that shroud. So I've really been thinking about how to go about this. I've been working on some other projects in my spare time, and what I actually came up with is going to be relatively, I'm going to say relatively easy for me. It might not be easy for anyone else, but I plan on providing the work that I do just like I have been, which is I have been on a mission over the last couple weeks to redo all of my Mustang ambient lighting system with RGB from the standard non-RGB. So if you look here, this is the window switch, right? And I'm going to open this up. I was planning on trying to install this at some point today, but I haven't. I'll open this up so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this right here is actually the original PCB that comes in the Mustang. Okay, if I plug this in the back here, right, it goes right in and it fits right in here. Now, this does not have enough pins for me to be able to do RGB. And even then, I would have to figure out how to bypass kind of what's in here. You know, if you guys looked at my other RGB video, I kind of took this LED off and I put a sticky one on here, and it is a big mess. Well, what I decided to do was redesign the board to be RGB capable. So if you look at this here, you can see the board design is a little bit different, but generally speaking, everything is in the same spot. Okay. Now this is a prototype, so obviously I didn't use the gold plating finish, but largely you can see these boards are pretty much exactly the same. And you know what? When I put it in here, when I actually put it in here, it fits just like as if it was a stock board or an OEM board that came with the car. Now I added this little connector here to bring the RGB signal in, but you can see it actually functions the same. And the whole point and why I'm showing this right now is that I realized, wait a sec, why am I going through all this effort of doing this kind of chaos and you know, decompiling the way the system works? At this point, I can just take these switches, design the board to accept the same locations, and then honestly just put the hardware setup of the 2012 Camaro on here. Now, the only one that might get a little bit tricky that I'll have to figure out, as I mentioned before, is my cruise control on and off switch here, because that was something I was going to manage outside via hardware. But first and foremost, I'm just going to think about how to manage this one. Because again, now I'm really invested in seeing if I can fit some sort of a tactile switch under here. And secondly, even if I can't do that, what I will attempt to do is I'll just convert this switch to the analog PCB, and then I will attempt to do the rest. Now, unfortunately, I am going to have to do 4 boards, right? So I'm going to have to do this one. I'm going to have to do this one. And then in order to get my favorite and my volumes to work, I'm going to have to redo these as well, because these are also work via a grounding system. But I think that this might be the easiest and most logical way to get these buttons and this setup to work for people, and take it from there. So what we're going to do is, remember, these two switches from a shape perspective are exact mirrors of one another, as are these two. So what I'm going to do for you guys is I am just going to redesign this one in KiCad. I'm going to redesign this one in KiCad. What we're going to do is we're going to have prototypes printed up, right? I like to work with JLC PCB. I'll have those prototypes sent to me. I'll make sure I got the shape correct. I'll make sure I've tweaked the positions of the buttons. And then what I'll do is I'll take the button shape and just mirror it to the other side. And if I mirror it to the other side, then I know I've got the other shape correct. And then it's just a matter of getting the buttons in the right position. So that's what we're going to do. I'll be honest with you guys, it's probably going to take definitely a couple weeks, if not a couple months, because it takes some time to get these prototypes shipped in and, sent over. But, we're going to go through this together and we'll see what happens. So thanks for sticking with me as long as you can. For now, you'll get to see how I design these boards and how I go about translating that into KiCad. So stick around and watch, and maybe I'll put some music on while you get to see. with that, guys, you end up with a set of PCBs like this. So it's not always perfect, right? So I'll be the first to say, if you look at this housing here and we drop in the OEM PCB, you can see that fits perfectly flush, as it was obviously very clearly designed for this. On the flip side, when we drop in my recreation, it doesn't actually fit. Now it's really close. You can see I've gotten most of the dimensions fairly accurate. However, the hole here is not big enough for this screw. The piece bleeds a little over the housing here. So it takes a couple iterations to kind of get this right. Luckily, each revision of a PCB only costs about, let's say $8, $9. It's more the time, right? It takes to wait. So, let's say I get this in and it takes me a couple days to finally get to revising it. I'll do my revision work and then I will send it off to be printed and stuff. It's another 8 to 10 days for it to get back to me. So usually getting one of these PCBs correct takes about a month. With 2 or 3 revisions it has to go through. The one nice thing is that as far as the green one, the volume up and down one goes, I actually got that one fairly accurate on the first try. So if you look here, it slides right in perfectly. Like the dimensions around the outside don't have to be that perfect, but really I needed to get the mounting holes, these holes, and these correct, as well as the mounting hardware. So that would be these. Now, one last thing to share here. If you notice, there's only 4 pins here, and I have an 8-pin connector here. The reason for that is because what they did was they used a double high, I'm going to call it a double high connector, where the connector slides into the top pins. I was not able to source something. Now, if you guys know a better source, please feel free to put it in the comments and let me know. But I struggled to source something that had just the top pins and double high. Now, the one nice thing is when we put this into the header, I did get the whole position correct, so it does slide in there. Now, I won't get too much into it, but this is the connector that only uses 4 pins, but it's technically a 5-pin connector. But if I bring the harness over here, what you'll notice is that despite having those bottom 4 pins in, the connector actually fits in. It fits in perfectly and it doesn't get disturbed by those bottom pins. So where I thought I would have to, use some sort of tweezer or clip to clip those out, I actually don't have to do anything. They're not connected. They're just free floating. They don't touch anything, so they're good. Unfortunately, despite this fitting well, what I tried to do or thought I could get away with was I recycled this design here. I'm trying to get it so that you can kind of see like the cutout is an S shape. And the actual design is more like an E. Well, this is actually really hard to see because of the reflection, but you can trust me, the shape is more like an E over here, and I found that wasn't going to work. So what I did was I went back and I redesigned it in, let's see if I can do this. I redesigned it so that it has the S shape here and doesn't follow the format of, this other one I tried to borrow from a different design. So I have another one of these inbound, coming in. It's got a slight adjustment here to this. And it's got the new carbon pills set up in there. So more to come. That is the process I go through in order to get from having nothing to having a fully functioning PCB. Here's an example of some wiper stock designs that I've done. These again did not fit perfectly, so I have another set coming in order to make those work on a different project I'm working on. But yeah, the entire process takes probably about the time lapse you guys watch was probably about 25 minutes, sped up 8 times speed. And unfortunately not all of it was there, so you're probably looking at I'm gonna say about 4 hours worth of 4 to 10 hours worth of work in order to get from nothing to having a PCB in my hand. So that's it. I hope you guys learned something. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.